Our third and final letter is from a female who lives in New Jersey. She writes, "Dear Jessica, my boyfriend told me he likes me better when I dress and act slutty. I do not like to dress like that because I was raised strict Catholic. When he gets me outfits, they are always very low cut, sexy lingerie, or really tight, revealing dresses. I always feel self-conscious when I wear them, but he tells me if I love him, I will do this for him. Please help." You don't like to dress like that because you feel self-conscious and you were raised in a strictly Catholic home. I had some friends like that back in the day. I had a friend who was raised strict Catholic, and I had a friend that was strict Presbyterian. And when I would go over their house, each one had a shoebox full of stuff I'm going to be able to wear these heels once I get out of here. It was the funniest thing to see, certain objects they weren't allowed to have because of their religion. So they had a little chest or shoe boxes. And once they moved out of the house, they were free to wear what they liked and free to do what they liked. A lot of the times, if we grow up in a very strict religious household, those beliefs can stick to us even if we ourselves don't believe them. But we have had what we call a trauma response. So every time your mom saw you in a tight skirt and she called you a bad name, it caused trauma. And then she did it repeatedly over a course of your teenage life. Every time you see a tight skirt, you're going to hear your mom's voice, right? Saying a bad word. So that's how you have to look at how you were raised, your upbringing. It's a automated response now. So anytime you feel uncomfortable wearing certain things or uncomfortable, period, you have to really become self-aware of yourself, and you have to be like, okay, is this me saying I don't want to wear this, or is this my mama who used to threaten me an inch from my life for wearing it? And if you can sit within yourself and you can say, it's my mom, then give yourself grace and let it go. I also want to say with your boyfriend, I don't know if you guys have had that conversation about the trauma that children who grow up in strict religious backgrounds have. And this is trauma. And I know you're going to go, well, it was just church. But when you are made to go to church every Sunday, go to the early service, go to the mid service, go to the late service, and then we're going to have the pastor over. And then Wednesday we got to go to Bible study. And then Friday we're going to mission. And then Saturday we're going to, you know what I mean? That is still a very structured routine, similar to people who get out of prison. Usually people who get out of prison, they still feel like they're incarcerated, so they do certain things. They may line their shoes up, they may fold their clothes a certain way. It's the exact same thing when you have been in a strict religious home. You may pray after grace even after you have said, you know what, I really don't believe in a lot of the religious things that are said. Or even Christmas time, there may be certain traditions that you do because it's been ingrained so deeply into you. So you understand what I'm saying? This response that you have is ingrained into you because in most religions, women are at the bottom of that patriarchy. We are taught in religion to be submissive and to make sure that we are seen without any flaws. And unfortunately, a woman expressing herself sexually, a woman wearing what she deems worthy for her to wear, that is not a submissive woman. That is a wayward woman. But the truth of the matter is, there is no such thing as slutty, submissive, or anything like that. It's all about the freedom of perspective and how you look at it, right? Because we're in a day and age where women can wear what they like. Men can also wear what they like. And I also want to challenge you to remember that God created your entire body. He created your brain. He created your bosoms. He created that derriere. So if God didn't want anybody to look at it, would he created it the way that he did? This is the same with, religious women who say, I'm not supposed to have pleasure during sex. I always like to remind them, you do realize God created the clitoris exactly for that purpose. There's no other purpose for that button on your body except to experience pleasure. So just remind yourself that God created you to experience love, happiness, and pleasure. And there is nothing wrong with the way that you look or feel, especially if it's contrary to the beliefs that you grew up in. You just have to have grace with yourself. And when I say grace with yourself, I mean, don't feel bad about feeling how you feel. Just feel that emotion, let it go so you can move on. And then you can make a conscious, educated decision. Do I want to dress sexy because it's what my boyfriend wants, or do I want to dress sexy because, hey, I really like this dress and it makes my boobs look great? That's the line that you want to go for. And if this is your boyfriend and he is pulling the, well, if you love me, then you'll do it for me, you need to also pull that card on him. If you love me, then you'll give me some grace to get used to this type of relationship, and I will then be able to accommodate you even more. Now, if he is not able to do that and he keeps moving the goalpost, or he starts making you feel bad about it, that's your cue, homegirl, to leave. Because no real partner is going to make you feel bad about a choice that you made because it made you feel uncomfortable, right? Relationships are always about consent, equality, reciprocity. And if those things aren't in any relationship, then they won't work. I want to thank you so much for the letter.